for the majority of the time, people aren't going to put you in situations that they don't think you can handle.
I sat down with 4 of the ref coaches and they said, you need to reconsider what you want to do. You either need to ref or you need to play.
I don't want to go down that playing path, and I do want to actually now stick to the refereeing.
I found it really hard. I found refereeing hard. I didn't find it easy ever. And I think that was the bit that I enjoyed the most is
So I'm Nathan. I first started in Tamworth about 20 years ago. Eventually moved to Sydney and have now finally made the NBL panel this season.
I'm Zara. I'm originally from Coffs Harbour. Officiated for about 12 years now. I've just made the WNBL panel and just been recently selected for the FIBA Rising Whistle program.
I'm Scott. I started refereeing in Newcastle in 1990 and I've refereed at every level in Australia and as a FIBA referee.
My name's Alison. I started refereeing in Maitland too many years ago to remember, when Zara was probably a twinkle in somebody's eye. I refereed up to the NBL level and I stopped officiating maybe 10, 11 years ago, trying to work that out. Currently still employed in the basketball refereeing development ranks. So.
I'm Matthew. I started refereeing at St George and I did 15 years at the NBL and 10 years as a FIBA referee. It was actually my first pre-season NBL game and it was Sydney versus Wollongong, and I made a call second quarter, inconsequential calls. I was on the baseline on court 1 there and just walked towards me, and he kept walking and closed the distance, and I stood there and looked him in the eye and winked at him, and I thought, all right, now I know I can do this. Yeah, I think that was a turning point for me. I knew I could do it.
You want to know, I had a very similar situation. Same team.
Same guy?
It's a different guy, same team. It was an exhibition game up in Newcastle, Illawarra in Newcastle. I call a charge and he's got smoke coming out of his ears. He's ready to charge me down, and same thing, stood my ground.
Yeah.
And that's when you just know that, okay, I'm supposed to be here. I never set out to do what I've done. It just came natural and normal, and it just made sense to me.
Mine was in a Pirates game. Was coaching. So yeah, he had a big dig at me from the sideline. Oh, you're new at this, aren't you? Yep, but I'm doing okay, aren't I? Anyway, yeah, okay. So yeah, I think it's just finding your confidence in those big moments.
I guess for me, I was the classic high school student that wanted to pursue a college scholarship and go play basketball, and refereeing was just a hobby for me where I was getting paid to run and keep myself physically fit. For me, I went to Bathurst and it was -4 degrees and I trialled for my first under 14s nationals tournament. So I travelled with the family, went, let's go make some money and have a trial, and I sat down with 4 of the ref coaches and they said, you need to reconsider what you want to do. You either need to ref or you need to play. I gave up the second I made under 14 nationals. I quit playing and I wouldn't change it now. So yeah, I was very grateful for those 4 referee coaches to kind of support me in a way that I haven't even thought about that pathway before until that moment.
I remember I was on the women's State League game in Tamworth. I was going to stick around and watch the men's game. Now, one of the referees didn't show up for the men's game, so Steve Nichols, who was running that game, came up, tapped me on the shoulder and said, don't get dressed, you're staying on. And anyway, I ended up getting through that game unscathed and got some pretty good feedback from Steve, and that was sort of a time when I went, oh, actually maybe this is, I don't want to go down that playing path, and I do want to actually now stick to the refereeing.
Yeah. Just make sure I get it straight.
Oh my God. They won't make me throw it, it's fine.
For me, that drives me. that noise, that pressure, that's what, you don't know what's going to happen next, but you're in total control of what you're doing. For me, that's a driver.
There's no doubt it's an adrenaline rush though, right? Like you turn up into one of those arenas and you've got all those people screaming, and for me, I think it ended up bringing out the best in me. But early doors, far out, that was scary.
For me, it quietens down things like, so over COVID, when we didn't have crowds, I actually found it really difficult, and I started thinking about things that distracted me from the game, whereas all of a sudden now, I felt very calm with the crowd there because it just took away all sense of what I need to think about, and now it brings my focus really into that game. I still remember a game at one of the last games that the Flames played at University of Sydney, and it was Belinda Snell's last game, and I ended up giving her a technical foul, and the whole crowd just gave me a massive boo. Well deserved. Last game, probably shouldn't give her a technical foul, but I still remember that's still in my mind, and I still have a little bit of a chuckle every now and then at that, just because of the energy that it gave.
For the majority of the time, people aren't going to put you in situations that they don't think you can handle. So I think you need to make the most of it when they've afforded to you, because it's a privilege that not everyone gets to experience.
My first big game was the under-14s country final, Newcastle versus Bathurst at Bankstown. This was the first time I ever felt pressure, because back then we travelled with the team, so I'd travelled with the Newcastle team, and just as the ball was being tossed up, someone from Newcastle yelled out, "Remember, they've got to drive you home." That's what pressure is. See, the other big game stuff, that's fun. But when someone says you might have to find your own way home, that's a big pressure.
I remember having to give my own father a technical foul in a grand final. Speaking of that, he was coaching my sister's under 16 girls team in a grand final, and I remember looking at the people that were doing the roster and went, "You're not giving me my father." And they went, "Yeah, we are." I remember him running up the sideline, chasing me and going, "You are walking home if you don't give me a technical foul." And I turned around and went, "Oh God, okay." And I don't think I'd probably given one before in my entire career. And I remember sitting in the car in complete silence with my whole family in the car going, "Are we going to address the fact that I just gave my own father a technical foul?" And he went, "No, I was just giving you a challenge, just seeing if you could handle it."
Yeah, well, I alluded to this incident in China I was over there for their final series, and there was a no call in the game, my no call, and the crowd just erupted. As a crew, we were there for a 5-game series. This was game 4. We were sent home because of this, and this was also the game where, the game finished, we're in the locker room, we're about to leave. Security comes in, "You're not going anywhere." We said, why not? They said, "There are 3,000 people out there. They are standing around the bus. The police are on their way. We can't move them." So that's one. And another one was at the last World Cup. Similar scenario, last 3.9 seconds of the game. Tied game. One of my colleagues makes a call. Excellent, perfect call. It was the most correct call of the game. Coach for one team just goes absolutely nuts. And if we had our time again, we would have rotated a little bit differently, but I ended up in front of him. And he's going, and I'm giving him it's coming, but I don't want to decide the game, but it's coming. And his players and manager trying to stop him, and he goes one too far, bang, right? Lit him up. It is what it is. They come down, they miss the tying shot, and he just charges out into the middle of the court after the game. "Shame on you." And you know the Europeans are upset when they say shame. That's when you know you're in trouble. "Shame on you, shame on you." Yeah, so that was controversial maybe, but it's just one of those calls that you got to make.
What are you going to do?
But it can change a game. But we've sort of gone away from your call changed the game. No, your action changed the game. I just had to deal with it.
The only one that comes to mind is what I've already mentioned, is the technical foul I call on Belinda Snell on her very last game. The only reason I say it's controversial is because the call beforehand I make is incorrect. So I probably should have worn that one.
Mine would have come from a double overtime game in Maitland. The crowd was crazy. I'd already reffed the women's game beforehand, so I was heading into pretty much my 9th and 10th quarter, just on the afterburners, and had a massive block charge situation right in front of me. Both players were on 4 fouls. I had to make a decision, and I went with my gut at the end of the day, and I looked back and went, thank God that was correct, because I absolutely copped it because it was against Maitland.
Of course.
And the whole entire game, there was 2 blokes in the far left corner in lead abusing my other 2 partners, and went, we love Sarah. With about less than 30 seconds to go, I changed my mind. You're the worst. And I'm like, all good.
Very individual.
I think this is something that we sort of forget about sometimes, is NBL 1 is actually a good league. Like, if you make NBL 1, there's only a select number of people that are on NBL 1. There's only a select number of officials who do senior league. Yep. So to be able to be representing your club at junior ranks, whether you go to a nationals or not, or you get a final at juniors, like, I think we need to remember that that's still a big achievement in itself. Just because there's a select number that go on to make international or NBL or WNBL, those sort of things, we still need to be praising the guys that are doing make NBL 1, and that's where they want to go. That's still an amazing achievement. It's still an amazing achievement just to get a grand final at a representative level in itself. 2
people exactly the same situation at the moment where you're at doesn't mean that you're going to end up both where you want to be. There's so much luck involved in our pathways, and so much that you can't control, and I think that's what you need to concentrate on. Like, there's so much that is outside of your bubble that you've just got to concentrate on what you can control.
A successful career, I reckon, comes about by just saying yes to things. When an opportunity comes up, be ready for that game. When you were doing the women's game and the men's game comes up, do the game. If the tournament comes up that you've been aspiring to, you've always got to say yes, because one thing leads to another.
If doing a local grand final is your goal and you tick that off, that's excellent, good for you. But if you want to go further, then the resources and the support is there to help you get there.
Is it?
It is. If you look for it, it's not up to us as the senior referees to volunteer to find these things. It doesn't take anything for an association to pick up the phone. And I don't know too many guys or ladies at the top level that say no. All you've got to do is ask.
And I think if you ask, a lot of people have come through and are sitting where we all are or have been before. I think if you ask them about their personal journey, it's actually a lot of self-development. It's a lot of self-reflection. It comes from within. We're looking at officials that have been our idols for so long, and now you guys are so approachable to us. And we always thought you guys were the untouchables, and now being able to have a relationship with you guys, it's just incredible. So I just think the younger generations are so fortunate now, knowing that you guys are so accessible and willing to give back, and that you guys are actually approachable. It's not, we're up here and you guys are down here. It's, we want to give back to you and see you guys do what we're doing.
It's the after game stuff where we might go have a drink or 2, dinner and that sort of stuff.
But it's like people you haven't spoken to for years. But you can pick up a conversation.
But it's all that social stuff after the game that keeps me coming back. The game itself, I love the game itself and running around on floor, I really enjoy that. But it's the after game stuff that I really, really enjoy that keeps me coming back.
Yeah, look, now that I'm at the end of my on-court career, I don't remember the games at all. I remember the people. To the point, there are people in other countries that I see once a decade, and we're still the best of friends. Like we've seen each other yesterday. So for me, the thing I love most about refereeing is, one, the front row seat, to be part of the action, to be part of a game that we love, and to be fully immersed in that. But it's also about the relationships, the people. Can be players, can be coaches, can be spectators.
There's friendships that I've made that we can pick up conversations now after not speaking for how many years, and it's there's some beautiful people that I've met.
I found it really hard. I found refereeing hard. Like, I didn't find it easy ever. And I think that was the bit that I enjoyed the most. Is I like doing hard things because I know I'm going to get better if I can be in this situation, have a go, and get most things right. Like, I learn a lot. So I think, I found it really hard, and that was the best thing about it.
Well, yeah, like you guys all said, I think the relationships you build, but I think also going on what you said about, you know, you're doing the hard things with people that you're being vulnerable with, people that you don't know very well, and you're gaining those new relationships and getting closer to people. So I think it makes our bond really unique. It's the relationships you build, it's the opportunities you get to have, the places you travel, those relationships where, as you said, you don't see people in 10 years and it's like you saw each other yesterday.
Status credits.
Yeah.
Status credits.
Court lounges.
We're all chasing the status credits.
You take the ball.
My legs. Did he just shoot that? Oh my God.